This kick can decide it all. The nation holds its breath. Yes,
Hi and welcome back to the podcast. Today we're talking about Liam Kerrigan. A lot of people would have heard of him already. He's one of a number of Irish players that are applying their trade in Italy now. He's a 23-year-old player from Sligo. He can play as a winger, midfielder, striker, and he currently plays for Como in 1907. So he started off in earnest joining Sligo as a 15-year-old. Previous to that, he played for his local team in Sligo. But he joined Sligo as a 15-year-old in 2015 at youth level. In 2018, he made his senior debut for Sligo Rovers as a 17-year-old and turned out 11 times. And in 2019, turned out 12 times for them, all in Ireland's top flight Premier Division, which was, a great achievement for such a young player. Now he wasn't, he was a bit player for them, but again, he was only starting off as a 17-year-old, 18-year-old. So playing in the top division in Ireland at that stage at any amount of times is a great achievement. So yeah, definitely showed his talent at an early age. On the 22nd of July 2019, so that's mid-season in Ireland, he moved to UCD to go to college, being offered a scholarship and studying for a degree in commerce. UCD, a bit of a unique setup that, you can go to college and play football at a high level. They bounce between the top division, the Premier Division in Ireland, and the second division in Ireland, which is the first division. They bounce between that, and it really just depends on who they have studying in UCD at the time, the players. But for a player, it's a great, I suppose, backup plan, and still playing football at a high level, and you're still young. Now, obviously, if you want to do things as a 17-year-old, it wouldn't be where you want to go, because you're gonna really, although you don't have to stay there, you're gonna stay there for 4 years, a college course, usually. So, but if you haven't decided, or if you're trying to have a backup plan, it's a great option to play at a high level and get a very top level college degree qualification. So UCD were also playing in the Irish Premier Division when he joined in 2019 mid-season. He played a total of 74 times and scoring 20 goals between 2019 and 22, which basically spanned 4 seasons, although combined with COVID and all, it was more like 2.5 seasons if you count it all together, really. But he only signed mid-season 2019, then 20 was interrupted by COVID. 21 in the first division, 2021 was his first full season, and then the 22 season back in the Premier Division, he left midway through that season when he joined Como on the 18th of July 22. So basically he joined when they were in the Premier Division. That's the college year would have started in September, so he joined mid-season. Now the way UCD works is a lot of players would be finishing their college courses, the cycle, so they'd be all leaving. So it's a strange one that they might hang on unless they get better options. But they got relegated the first year he joined there, and promoted and playing in the Premier Division the first half of the season before he left. So yeah, good. The relegation really nothing to do with him. It's just the way it works at UCD, and sometimes they're good, sometimes it can be a change of the sea there and a lot of change of players. So it depends what time in the cycle really you join. Probably didn't explain that too well, but anyway. So from a transfer point of view, UCD again is a bit of an enigma, as in players usually, though not always, play for UCD for the duration of their college course, and once they finish their college course, they leave and would usually have a contract. They wouldn't usually have a contract beyond that stage, so there's no real transfer comes into it. So basically, to join as an 18-year-old, 17, 18-year-old, I suppose kids now, they all join, they all leave school at 18 more or less, and then they'd be finishing 21, 22, and they'd have nothing tying them down. So if they're continuing on with their football career, they can really go anywhere for free. There's no transfer fee coming into it. So that's obviously a very attractive prospect for any potential suitors who basically just have to agree terms in a contract with the player. So no transfer fee at all. There's no obstacle of that standing in the way of a deal being done. So in the summer of 22, 5 Irish players joined Serie A, but it was arguably Kerrigan who had the best start, albeit in the Serie B. He had a good pre-season, and he made 4 appearances for Como, scoring once until he suffered the heartbreak of ACL injury in September, which halted his progress and sidelined him ever since. Now he wanted to come back before the end of the season. I think there's still a couple of games left, 2 games left. Maybe that'll happen. But just going back to he did start great, having a good pre-season, scoring in pre-season, playing regularly. Then he was involved pretty much straight away in the Cup and League for the high-profile Serie B side, progressing from the bench to scoring to starting, and then unfortunately suffering that ACL. Como, of course, are in the picturesque, famous area of Lake Como, where he lives 15 minutes away, which is going to be attractive anyway. So yeah, that must be lovely. Never been to Como. If anyone wants to count me tickets, that would be great. And after Kerrigan joined, Fabregas came on board as a player with a minority share in the club, followed shortly by Thierry Henry. They're also owned by a billionaire, which in Italy, usually you go billionaire, yeah, he's massive, lot of money there, but in today's football, there's so much money involved, but they're still with a substantial financial backing. Dennis Wise, of course, the Chelsea legend, he was already involved, and he's currently enrolled as president, I believe. He's gone through a number of different roles with the club. So they have notoriety, and all at the club were and have been praising Kerrigan since he joined and throughout his term so far. His contract, he signed a 3-year contract, so it gives him the security, although the heartbreak of the ACL injury, which can has ruled him out for the season. It would have been worse if that had happened and he was somewhere else with not a 3-year contract. So if he had been at League of Ireland level, it's better that injury happened at Como, basically, because they have the professionalism, the structure, and he has the support of a 3-year contract there that runs until 30th of June 2025. So by all reports, he's close to coming back, but they wouldn't have rushed his comeback because they would have signed him and as a long-term investment player, and he started so great it was a blow to him and the club, but they want to do things the right way. And in League of Ireland, the player himself might want to push himself to get back on the pitch because that's his career. But Como, again, they'll want to protect their asset and not rush him back until he's right. He wants to come back, play a few games before the end of the season just to get that under his belt and get a good pre-season. But really, it's probably the smartest thing to let him just ride that season now, put a line through it, have a good pre-season, train, and then start the next season. He can start again. Hopefully he comes back and starts next season the way he started his first season. And they had hoped to make the playoffs this year. It didn't happen for them. They're currently 13th with 2 games remaining, so not the season they would have hoped for, but next season hopefully it will be the season that they hope for. He'll have a consistent run and he'll be embedded in the team like he was looking to be, and then they'll get promoted hopefully to Serie A, and he'll be a star in the team and he'll be a Serie A player. It seems like a long route, but it's an exciting period for him. And it was a setback, the injury, but in the long run it will be great for him now if he can get next season playing consistently, starting, scoring, being a permanent fixture in the first team. Again, he did start out like that, and probably him and them both didn't expect him to hit the ground running so quickly, but he did, and he did look like he was going to be a permanent fixture in the side. So hopefully again next season will be, and he'll be in the Serie in Serie A in 2 years' time, and a permanent fixture in Serie A, not just starting off afresh, which would be great for Irish international football and the senior team. Regarding playing for Ireland, he had just broke into the Irish under-21 setup last year, while he was at UCD, and he did start very well as well. He scored. He played 3 times and he scored, and it looked like again he was going to be a permanent fixture in the under-21 side. But again, that injury hampered that. So the under-21s is gone now. So the natural progression is next season he starts playing well, gets into the senior setup. I can't see why that wouldn't happen, because it's the second division in Italy. Fair enough, Serie B mightn't be looked on as the same as the Championship in England, which is the second division in England, but it is still the second division in Italy. It is still a good level. I think that's a definite realistic target for him to play senior football for Ireland now. The end of this year, and definitely the beginning of next year, and next year if they get to the Serie A, sure, he was playing as a first teamer for Como. It'd be crazy not to have him in the team, wouldn't it? So yeah, it looks very, very good for Ireland as well as the player himself. He also comes from a family of football. His younger brother is also currently in college in the US playing college football, and there's good reports about him as well. He also is the first cousin of Johnny Kenny, who signed for Celtic, is on loan at Shamrock Rovers at the moment. Obviously played very well for Sligo Rovers as well. So football's in his genes, and hopefully again he'll have a great pre-season. And I don't know what way they're going to play it. I presume they're going to give him a while off, but he'll probably want to keep training. I don't know what the best tactic is, but Como and him will obviously play it the right way and get a good pre-season into you. Start next season 100%, and yeah, all the best, Liam. I'm sure it's going to work out amazing, and you're definitely in the running for the first Serie A regular player for Ireland. Ebicelli obviously doing well at the moment as well, but you know, we'll see who is going to be the first Serie A superstar international player for Ireland of the current times. Obviously Liam Brady's done it before, but Robbie Keane didn't work out for him, unfortunately. I think he could have made it, but so of the current crop, Liam Kerrigan could be the man unless somebody else comes to the fore next season in Serie A. But definitely great times ahead for the player, great times ahead for Ireland. Thanks for listening and have a great day.